Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dream Oracle for You. I am your host, Sarah, and as always, I have my wonderful co-host, Biliana, on the episode. This is episode 44, big number 44, one of my favorite numbers, actually, so I'm excited for what today's episode will have. And of course, as always, we have a wonderful guest today, dear friend, Estelle Larson, and I am so excited to hear and all the great things that she has to say in today in relation to dreams. I won't spoil too much of her introduction and why she's here and whatnot. We won't even talk about what the episode is going to be about. We'll just let Estelle kind of bring that to awareness. But first, Biliana, welcome to the episode.
Hello, and yeah, thank you for the awesome introductions as always. Yeah, we don't know where this is going to go. We know we've got a bit of an idea, so I'm really excited to have Estelle on. And yeah, well, obviously we know each other through certain channels, but I'll let you talk about that. But yeah, it's really great to have you on, and you're one of our um Dream Oracle course members. So yeah, we can touch on, what you thought about the course for people that want to possibly do it in the future. Yeah, because we'd love to hear your feedback as well. So yeah, if you want to introduce yourself any way you like, you don't have to say too much, but yeah, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, my name's Estelle, and I live in South Australia. Very interested in ley lines and dreams, and that's how I met Sarah and Billy. Um, and I noticed that they had the Dream Oracle podcast. Noticed that they were offering a course for dreams, which very much aligned where I was at, and wanting to know about dreams and to advance my understanding of dreams. So I decided to do their course.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, it was a pleasure to have you, and you even taught us quite a lot as well. So, you know, yeah, we're looking forward to the next one. So
Yeah, especially incorporating your feedback as well into the next rendition of the course and just to enhance the experience for the next dreamers, as we call them. I don't like the term students, so if you take our course, you're going to be called a dreamer. Hmm.
well, I suppose we'll just start with what's your we know we've talked about dreams a lot through the course and just our conversations, but for people listening, what's your understanding or your knowing about dreams? What are they to you?
Um, Dreams for me are another dimension, reality that we go to. Um, uh, oh, sorry, a lot of airs here.
No worries. Don't think about it.
Yeah, there's no such thing as time or solid space. It's just open. It's endless. It's just multiverse, and
Yeah.
you travel in all those other realms, depending on the dreams and what you're seeking from your dreams. Um, if you want to get a deeper understanding of yourself, you can open a dialogue with yourself in the dream realm. Because that personality has so many aspects to it, and all those aspects have their own identity and consciousness. So we can talk to all our multi selves, aspects of our personality, to, I guess, become a better person soulfully, a deeper understanding of who we are, what our purpose is, and utilizing that in the dream space.
Yeah, beautiful. Well said, I think.
I love that.
I actually had a question that popped in my head. I don't know if this is a question you've anticipated from what you had said, but so you talk about dreams, it depends where you go and what you experience in the dream space depends on what you're seeking from dreams. But what about those who might not be at that level where they're actually seeking something for their dreams and they're just going to sleep and they're just, what is happening to those people who are not consciously taking steps to explore the dream realm? In your opinion, of course.
I think we still have the same result, but it's not pre-consciously set out. They may be more random if you've got stuff in the external world, be it family politics or work conflict, that subconsciously you will dream about what's going on, and hopefully you get some advice for solutions and how to solve what's going on in a safe space without physically having to have that conversation.
Yeah, awesome. I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
true.
I have so many questions that are coming in. So apologize, Estelle. You're going to be talking a lot today, but that's why we have guests on the show. So Billiana and I don't have to talk as much.
Yeah, yeah, I do like how you said about dreams, how they're open, you can open a dialogue with yourself. I
Yeah.
love that phrase. That's cool. Like I've always thought it that way, is your, like, you set an intention, as we talk about, to like ask yourself questions, but like opening a dialogue. That sounds more relatable for people, that you're not crazy if you're talking to yourself. It's actually quite helpful and an essential part of understanding yourself. So I like that. I'm gonna use that now.
Yeah. When you're promoting Dream Oracle, like, oh, you can have an open conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because pretty much that's what it is, really. It's like dreams, connecting to your true self, however you want to say it, whatever words. And yeah, you're saying like all your different aspects of yourself. Um, yeah, it's funny, like the people that are not super aware of themselves, or they just dismiss dreams as just random things. They can have some wild dreams, and there's a gentleman I've been speaking to recently, and he said he's had some really wild dreams, out of body experiences, lucid dreams, but he dismisses them as they're just dreams. There's no connection between you're awake and you're asleep. So it's quite interesting to hear those
That's why
perspectives.
it's sad to be that disconnected, because your inner self is you, that you are connected, and to see yourself as disconnected is a little bit sad, because I think you grow more and understand more when you connect all aspects of yourself.
Yeah, and I guess it's when you're ready for that.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
it's generally when you're not ready, is when you don't receive the right information, I guess, come through. Um,
Or you're just not
yeah,
like aware or open to the information that's coming through anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you said that you have an interest in ley lines and an interest in dreams. Where did the interest in dreams originate? What was it that captivated you with dreams that, you know, eventually led you to our podcast and to be our first inaugural dreamer in the course? But how long have you been into dreams and where did the interest start?
I guess you could say from childhood, um, always having that child mind where you are curious, and you're more connected and accepting your dreams and it's an actual real experience. And that's just traveled with me throughout life. There has been times where not as much because life can get busy. When you work and you're a mum and you're multitasking and you're just too distracted. We have those periods in life. And as things settled down, started to reconnect again, to dreams started becoming more of an interest in what are they, what is the purpose, how can we incorporate dreams in the real world and use dream space to help with mental health issues, trauma, how to expand our own knowledge. So that's where dreams become really, really a priority for me to start delving, because I got a sense in the future dreams will become a dream therapy, and we're going to teach people how to utilize dreams for ourselves as individuals and as a community and a society, and just how to be more of a caring society by using our dreams and our dream space.
Yeah, I mean, we spend so much time in the dream space, we spend, at least 6 to 8 hours a night, some people more, some people a little less, but it's a very long time to be in the dream space. And I'm sure this is true for you, but things seem to be you seem to be able to cover more ground in the dream space than you would in our waking time. So, something that seems like it's happened for days in the dream space may only be like an hour of actual sleep time in our current reality. So you can work a lot, uncover a lot, and have in-depth therapy sessions, if you will, just by sleeping.
Absolutely. And I think it can teach you to accept creativity and imagination more in your physical world.
Mm. Yeah, that resonates with our last guest with Uncle Roll, because he spoke about, how he basically became inventor of the year in Canada and whatever year it was, but by using his dream space to help him solve a problem or come up with a particular invention. So definitely lots of opportunities for creativity in the dream space. Now, why do you think that is? Just curious question.
Because there's no shackles. There's like mental shackles. Uh, in the physical world, as a little child, you're able to be creative and fantasize, and you kind of do still coexist with the dream space as a little child. You do a lot of daydreaming and fantasy play, and you're in and out of the dream space with the physical. And as we get older, we're told we have to stop doing that. You've got to learn like maths, science. It doesn't encourage you to expand that childlike thinking. We become more practical, more logical. So we become more disconnected. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that now.
No, that was good. That was good. I like the connecting it to the daydreaming because that resonates with our other most recent episode with Sarah Xanthos, as well, which was all about daydreaming and how we tend to lose that ability. We have another visitor on the call. This is the lap dog. What was his name again?
Sammy.
Sorry?
Sammy.
Sammy. Okay. Welcome, Sammy, to the podcast. Do you dream, Sammy?
Oh,
I would
yes.
say so.
Yeah. Actually, that's an interesting topic we actually haven't really spoke much about on the podcast is animals and their ability to dream, or if they dream or if they don't. I believe they do. It's hard to know what they dream about, but I know in the past, I've had dogs that have been totally laying down and their little paws will start moving and they'll have little woofs coming out. And this particular dog I'm talking about was a little beagle. So I like to think he was hunting rabbits in his sleep and maybe actually
Yeah,
catching them because he didn't catch them in real life.
yeah. No, they definitely do, and they're just like us. They just don't have the ego and all the mental stuff to worry about. So their life is
Absolutely.
fun. They're just children forever.
I think that's something really important that you just mentioned, Billy, is no ego in the dream space. I think if you take ego into the dream space, you're not going to have the experiences that you want for the learning,
Yeah,
for the higher self. So I think that's an interesting topic on itself. Does ego come with you in your dreams?
Hmm. And
I
and one
don't think so.
and one of the, and if it doesn't, then my question is ego then part of the human experience? Like is it a construct of the physical reality? And when you're entering the dream space, that's definitely a non-physical reality, higher dimensions, connecting with your higher self, higher levels of consciousness and existence. So now that being said, your ego probably can go with you, but because you can take you it depends on where you are vibrationally, right? And so is ego an expression of vibration? Then because I'm just trying to think like with nightmares and having more negative experiences in the dream space, that comes when you typically are more stressed or have some sort of anxiety. You have those lower vibrational frequencies within your in your existence, I guess, lack of a better word. And then when you go into the dream space, then you attract those sort of things. But yeah, I'm that has me like really pondering now. It's like,
Yeah.
does the ego actually exist in the dream space?
Well, I
Do
guess it would have to because that's almost like shadow work. So I guess in the dream space, why wouldn't it show you your ego, where it doesn't serve you? Um,
so you think more in
yeah.
a lesson learning sense it would exist, but not necessarily as part of your true self. Is that kind of where you're going?
yeah, that's kind of the line that I was going down because it shows you that we all do have those fragments. And it's like watching a movie of yourself, I guess. If, it shows you your ego, what you can learn from your ego, how it can serve you or be a disadvantage in the physical world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's interesting because it reminds me of some dream experience I have now, not necessarily with ego, but there have been some experiences that I've had in the dream space where like I've been like mad at somebody and I'm not actually mad at that person in real life, but there's obviously some aspect of myself or there's something that's being brought to my awareness of how to handle myself in that particular situation, I would say. And so I'm trying to think about how the ego would present itself in that similar situation.
Yeah. I think for me, I suppose the ego is part of the well, everything is energy, so it's just a part of you it's an energy based entity, whatever you want to call it. So when you go into the dream space, it's just the energy, like your true essence is just presenting the energy that you have in your this physical realm, and it presents in that way. So it could be ego. I don't know. I haven't really yeah, I don't think of it that way. I think of it as just everything is part of us. Um when we experience it, it's all part of us in some way, and it's just about finding balance. So we do have to have we can't be without the ego. It is just part of us. It's what makes us who we are. It's like, you can't have the light without the dark. It's the negative without the positive. It's all the same. And I was just thinking as you guys were talking, it's almost like a dream space, and I envisaged like a lounge room kind of floating in space on like a broken rock just hanging out. And it's like your true essence and your kind of physical energy, physical form, it just in an energy form, like meeting, hanging out, and go like, all right, this is what you need to work on. This is where, yeah, too much stress or this, and that's like the dream space. Well, that'd be cool, like cool
That's
way to
a
think of it.
brilliant vision.
Yeah, so it's like your true self is composed of all of the individual emotions, for lack of a better word, which emotions are just energies that move, um, energies in motion. Um, so it's almost like your whole complete self is a little fragment of each and every emotion, and they all kind of coexist. And kind of like you said, Biljana, they all have to be within balance, but sometimes there is an imbalance. And so each each fragment of emotion, if that's what you want to call it. I'm just thinking, I never actually watched, what was the movie, Inside Out or something like that?
It's
I
so
didn't
good, so
I didn't
good.
actually watch it in detail, but I've heard a lot about it where this I don't know if you've heard it, Estelle, but and I'm probably gonna butcher it because I've not watched it. Maybe Biljana, you should explain it. But my
I
understanding.
don't have a TV, so I'm not very familiar with.
No worries, no worries. But essentially, it's about this little girl. It's a cartoon-based show, and she has all of these different emotions, and they like kind of show inside of her brain. Each of the emotions are like little characters within her brain that come out at certain points. And I don't know the punchline of the movie because I didn't watch it, but that bit I know.
That's a
Yeah,
pretty, I think, accurate, because all those little bits about personality are actual individual conscious beings or energies. They are their own self. Even though they are up, it's still you. It's its own self as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just like every individual cell in your body is a conscious entity as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, this is why I don't like to plan too much for an episode. You never know where it's gonna go. So this is quite.
What's quite interesting is I did pre-write anticipated dot points, and everything we just discussed, what I wrote a week ago.
Now, isn't that the power of intention?
sorry, I just had the dogs going crazy here.
No worries. No worries.
And I was just trying to listen in. But going back to the inside out, and there's a number two. Um, it's great, like just all the emotions, like they all want to take control of her, and like one emotion is more important than the other, and it's just showing like if there's one emotion that takes over, it creates like a real imbalance. So it's almost like it's just they're showing that the all the emotions need to work together for the greater good of this child. So it's quite interesting. It's good for kids to learn that sort of stuff. And each emotion has a color. So that's
Yes.
another cool thing as well. So, and the second one goes more into how all these emotions are shaping this child. And so the joy is the emotion. She's like throwing all like the bad things that happen or the mistakes she makes or whatever. She's throwing them away and like they're not relevant. It's almost like you should only remember good experiences because that's what shapes you and makes you a good person. But it's everything that shapes you. So it's same as dreams. Like it's good to take on board everything in your dreams, not just the good bits or the things that are obvious, but like there's an underlying message that you're not dealing with. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it has a right to existence to
yeah,
be approached. And
yeah,
best place to approach it is in the dream world.
yeah. And it doesn't come up in your dream unless it needs to. Like things don't exist just by accident. Like everything is all designed to guide us. It's there because we're creating that energy and that reality. So it's that's why like when people say that dreams are just random or that they're not anything, I'm like, why? How can you think like that? How can't you connect the dots? Like it's literally your dream. Like it's not anyone else's. It's
Yeah,
quite interesting.
and no one can interpret it except you. You can get others to put their reflection, but ultimately, you're the expert on your dream.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
no
Same
one
as going
knows.
to. Yeah,
Oh,
you go.
I was just gonna say, no one knows you better than yourself.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
and if you don't, you need to get dreaming to discover yourself.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's a punchline for today's episode. Get
And you can
dreaming to
think of it
discover
like,
yourself.
yeah, but even like going to a therapist or this is not to this any profession, but like or a psychic or um counselor or whatever or healer. Um, you've got all that information in you as well, and it's opening that dialogue with yourself to
Exactly.
figure out. So yeah, and we've talked about on previous episodes, like I've gone into my dream with the intention of kind of like having a therapy session with myself, and it works. So just by asking yourself questions. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I know this is going like off topic a little bit, but have you dreamt about ley lines and or done work with ley lines? And also, for those people who don't know what ley lines are, do you want to give your interpretation? What do you think they are? They are for you?
Um, Ley lines for me are the earth's veins that
I like that.
carries the earth's soul essence. And the ley lines are for us to connect to it and nature, as in trees, animals. So we all connect and we vibrate at the highest level possible. So the trees, the animals, and us humans um, collaborate to have a unified existence, where we don't over farm. We have small farms, so energetically we're not draining the earth with the ley lines.
Yeah.
I have ley lines on my property, so I deal with ley lines on a daily basis. So I would say I think I have a ley line right through the bedroom.
Yeah.
So I do believe that influences dreams. I get a lot of purple in my dreams. And I do
Okay.
believe it's a purple ley line that runs
Yep.
through the bedroom. So, me personally, I think I connect to the ley line when I'm asleep, and I think
Yep.
it helps
Okay.
with the dreams.
Yeah. Is that
And
because you've cleared that ley line? So because from what we've like been learning is that the ley lines have been manipulated and like used for, I don't like to say negative because negative and positive, I'm still figuring that out, but like
it's all
for
energy, yeah.
bad things. Yeah. So is that because you've cleared the energy of that ley line? So now it's benefiting you with your sleep and your dreams?
Um, yeah, did a lot of work with Sarah and that to balance the ley lines because it can be too much, uh, particularly if the ley lines, which we know are being manipulated or hijacked, um, they definitely do have a negative aspect and can bring things that you may not want, for a better word, negative
Yeah.
dreaming experience. So by balancing the lays, I think it amplifies the dream space. It opens the dream space to a deeper understanding of connecting to energies, which are the lays.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
it opens knowledge and information that I think you normally wouldn't tap into.
So
Yeah.
for your in your experience, you have lays on your property, and it's only been recently since I worked with you that the clearing of these lays happened, and you've been into dreams for a long time. So have you actually noticed, and I know that some of this coincides with you taking the course, and you're also reading a particular book about dreams as well that we may touch on in today's episode, but um so there's a lot of things that a lot of different variables going on that may have impacted your dreams. But was there a distinct difference between your dreams before balancing and clearing the lays as opposed to afterwards?
Oh, 100%. The dreams now, I would say, have gone from being like a B grade film to a blockbuster. If I could have an analogy.
That's a pretty good analogy, I would say. So we got blockbuster films happening every night now as opposed to not. Wow.
um, yeah, some are very philosophical dreams. They've taken, now I have a deeper understanding of how expansive, not the world, but our consciousnesses, and how the dream realm is as real as the physical realm. I would say the dream space is more real than the physical. We're more in the dream, spend more in the dream space than we do the physical. So, well, I've got sidetracked here.
No, so the dream space is more real than the physical space. Is that because everything is conscious, everything is consciousness, and when you're accessing the dream space, you were connected at a much deeper level to consciousness because you're not distracted by the physical realities or the
Yeah, and
physical entities in real life or waking life.
you do. You have a higher understanding of things too when you get shown things in the dream space that you may struggle to understand or conceive in the physical world. you're more receptive to information that you wouldn't in the physical. Let's say all of a sudden I start dreaming and I can see creation being formed. I don't question it. In the dream space, I accept that as truth. But if I was to get a beginning of a thought in the physical world of that, I would go, oh, and I would shut it down.
Yeah.
But because I'm having it in the dream space, I've accepted it, I understand it. So then when I'm awake, I have a higher understanding of our existence.
It's like the dream space, the creativity in the dream space is limitless. And
Yes.
in our waking life, that still exists. Creativity can be limitless, but there's so much that we are programmed for lack of a better word, that makes us, whether it's societal structures or, the laws of physics or whatever it may be, it kind of puts boundaries and boxes around creativity, except for the people who are more are connected at a deeper level consciously while they're awake, are able to step outside of those bounds and be creative. It's like when they say think outside of the box, the thinking outside of the box is actually not allowing limits to be put on your creativity. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just had to say that.
No, that actually makes sense because for me individually, getting more into the dream space, understanding it, working with it, and putting a bit more structure for myself before I enter the dream space has completely altered my understanding in the physical world, that I can carry that into like the deeper understanding, being more creative, using imagination more in the physical.
Yeah. Yeah. It helps you like anchor in like knowing about things rather than trying to logically figure things out. Because I've set the intention before going to sleep and not really remembering my dream, waking up and it just something has shifted. So you're not having to, when you dream, you're not having to just dissect things or try to understand them. It just becomes a knowing because it's like you say, it's just consciousness. And you're fully connected in that space. You're not disconnected in any way. Um, so yeah, and I would just have a like thought. I'm just gonna like have a plug for my personal course, but
Absolutely.
one of the which I'm running in January, and it's about like connecting with the heart. And one of the weeks is putting goal setting and like dream journaling together. And then what you said, Estelle, before, like that kind of like that just came up as like goal setting before you go to sleep, and then coming out of that dream and then journaling that is a way that you can shift things, you can figure things out, have your therapy session, that sort of thing. So I don't know, that just came to mind and I thought I'd just mention that.
Absolutely. So all the details about Biliana's course will be in the show notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting.
Speaking about
Very exciting.
course, shall we
Yeah.
invite Estelle to, you know, give any feedback or review, just how your experience was in our pilot version of our quote unquote dream interpretation course? I really don't like the name. I got to change the name, but our dream course, we'll call it. Um, yeah, I don't know if you want any questions guided or you just want to just talk about your experience.
Both, maybe.
Both. Okay. First question. What is the most impactful thing that you learned during the course? I know it's a big question to start with, but
Um, Hmm. Biggest impact was being organized, as in maybe a bit of meditation, getting yourself in a nice headspace, body space, and then thinking rather than just free flow with dreaming, set intentions, be it problem solving or seeking wisdom, knowledge, set that intention. That is the biggest thing I got from the course, was how to structure nighttime prior to sleeping. So I
Yeah,
could harness as much useful stuff for my everyday journey.
yeah. It's powerful,
It's
isn't
had
it?
quite an impact. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
setting intention, relaxing the body, letting the day just wash off, I think is the biggest thing I got from the course.
Amazing.
And
And
that's
Awesome.
had
Perfect.
a massive impact.
and would you say your sleep quality improved as well?
Oh, it's gone to, how can I put it? A galactic level. It is interdimensional. It is just amped up levels.
Sounds like a really fun experience.
Oh, it is. Then I've got to figure out during when I wake up, I write it. Oh, that's the other thing, dream journaling. That was the other big thing I got from the course. I'd had heard of it before, but I kind of went, that's light work. Through the course, understanding that is a key factor of how to use dreams to improve yourself, your life, your relationships. Dream journaling is
Yeah.
definitely a must.
Yeah. It's even like, I think about it, you don't have to fully interpret every dream and understand it in that moment. But I think it's like that writing it down, it's bringing it into the physical form. Like you've dreamt about it on the conscious level, like bringing it into the physical form, and it's allowing it to come into fruition or whatever it is. And then, like we've talked about it, I don't know if it was on the podcast or in the course, you can go back and read a dream from maybe a year ago, and it could be quite relevant and pertinent in that
Oh,
moment. So yeah, it's almost, yeah, it's so invaluable and it's so simple. And what are the things that you write down when you dream journal? What are the sort of things?
um, I do try to initially think, how am I feeling? What are the residual feelings I've got when I first wake up? Jot that down. Um, I'm very fortunate, I think, where I have really good recall, like strong visuals, lots of color, or if it's a dream, I get a lot of narrated dreams. And you hear the voice, and I'm in just an open space. And yes, there's people there, but no one's talking. It's another voice, but they're not there. It's just a narration.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting.
yeah, I just went off on the tangents.
No, no, I like that you brought up narration dreams because we've not really talked about that much here. But I was having a conversation with my sister earlier today, and she was actually saying that she's having a little bit of a dream where some like bad guys were chasing her or something like that. But she's like, "Oh, and you were in my dream." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's really cool." She's like, "But you weren't actually there." She said, "You were just like a voice in my head." And I don't know, I had said something like they were using the phone, these bad guys were using her phone to track her or something like that. But it was just, she said it was like an internal voice in her head, but it was me that was coming through. And I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool that I was in your dream as a voice in your head. And then I was like, I'm in your head.
I get a lot of narration dreams, a lot. And then I'll get a visual, but it's more seeing things as in energy and frequency. I get a lot of visuals of what energies look like and what they associate with emotionally and in the physical world. So I may see purple as intuition in my dreams. So therefore, I know purple is intuition. I saw blue, blue was truth. So I bring that into the physical world. So I then look at the colors that people wear in the physical world, because I saw that in the dream realm, and I know we can reveal where we're at energetically by the colors that we surround ourselves or wear.
Oh, that is interesting. I like that. So have you got all the colors decoded? Have they all showed up in your dream yet?
I have a partial list, because sometimes I get dreams, but they're very, very short, and they're always just prior to waking up, and they're the most profound for me, is just prior to waking up. So I get a little snippet of being revealed something, and then I wake up. So then I go, okay, when I go to sleep again the following night, I've got to set an intention for the rest of the information.
Hmm. So it's literally like an
So,
ongoing learning journey experience for you from night to night. It's like you don't, every night is not an individual dream experience, lesson done. It's a continuum for you.
yeah, and they can be scattered. I can say, okay, I want to be shown what truth is. I may not get it that night. Sometimes I've got to set the intention a few times, and that must mean that I'm not ready at that moment to receive it, but I've put it there for later.
What's the longest you've had to wait for your intentional requests to come through in the dream space?
um, I can't really give a timeline, because setting intention is a newer thing since I did the course.
Yeah,
So
you only just finished the course a couple weeks ago, right?
yeah, so it's still evolving. Um, and I am journaling the evolution of my dreams from doing the course. So
Mm.
I can see maybe in 12 months from doing the course to hopefully where my dreams are at.
So you're saying you're going to return in a year from now and let us know how your dreams have evolved after taking the course.
I may have to do the course again a few times as you expand your course. I may have to come back.
Yeah, absolutely. We're all for that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
cool.
Um, yeah, I feel like I mean, we could talk for hours. I mean, Estelle and you and I, Estelle, have that track record for talking for a long time. Where are we on time anyway? Oh, we're doing pretty good. We got lots of time. Um,
Did you
do
want to talk about the book that you've been reading? And because I looked it up before, but I haven't read the book. But the way you've been talking about it, it sounds quite profound, and it's changed your perspective on things. Yep.
It's had quite a big impact. It's a series of book that was wrote by a lady called Jane Roberts in 1963. You know, the crazy 60s. And just randomly, a conscious entity decided to come through us. So she channeled Seth. I did write some notes because it gets pretty in depth into consciousness. Seth is a separate entity. It isn't a part of the author. It's its own consciousness that decided to speak through Jane. And sorry, I'm just
no worries. What's the name of the book again?
It's called Seth Speaks, The Eternal Validity of the Soul.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. It's a big book.
It is. And I read the chapters and I find I've got to go back and redigest what I read because it's so in depth. Oh no, that's your energy management. Well, Seth explains about being conscious energy. That's what we all are. And we are infinite. We never stop being. Even when our physical casing we no longer need, we continue. We will always exist, not just in this universe, but the multi-universes. And we can connect to others once we leave this body. We can connect to others via the dream space. I forgot what chapter it was of Seth, and I went to sleep that night and Seth decided to appear. And Seth was explaining in my dream what consciousness is and how it is forever expanding. And when we pass, we go into like a holding place. You don't just transition instantly. You go to a holding place so the soul and your consciousness can get some grounding, that it's gone from that to that. And you are given decisions in that space, whether you want to come back or do you want to go into another dimension for existence.
So endless possibilities.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could find, because I wrote so many notes about Seth and I have so many books, notebooks.
All the information's in your head, don't worry.
Well, what else did you get from reading the book, and even any other dreams that you've had of Seth? Like what?
I've had numerous dreams of Seth, and it's always narration. Because Seth explains he is just consciousness, so he has no need for a physical form. Physical form becomes irrelevant. So here's what I wrote. Seth is an energy personality essence. That's what he is. And he is a metaphysical teacher. that's why he comes into your dream space, because he is not a physical being. When you read Seth, it's very much a multi-dimensional experience. You're not just absorbing information. It's much more than that. Here I wrote, it turns us into explorers of consciousness. Through reading Seth, he makes you your own explorer.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And Seth says dreams are no more hallucinatory than your physical life is. So you can't just say it's just an imagination language. You could say that about the physical world. Your waking physical self is the dream. As you are dreaming, self is concerned. You are the dreamer. It is sent on its way. And dreams are the gateway into other realities.
Yeah, that definitely resonates with me.
Yeah. And it opens areas through the inner self. And that's where we do self-exploration and become conscious explorers.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. And like you were just saying about the reading, and that's why I like writing and reading like a physical book and not on the computer or something. You can gain that wisdom from reading, same as like listening to real music, not like, you know, electronically generated music.
Yeah.
Sorry, the dogs. You can feel the energy that comes from it, and yeah. So
yeah, your hairs, when you're listening to true music that is at the correct frequency, your hairs being receptors respond to it. Absolutely. So you have a physical experience from that music.
On that note, I'm just the note music. Sorry. It just popped in my head to ask a question it's dream related, but not related to Seth necessarily, but just talking about your hairs being receptors and being able to pick up frequency. Have you ever had an experience in the dream space that impacted your physical body, that you actually felt a physical sensation on your body?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool.
Very much so.
Does it happen often, or is it just like once in a while? And do you have an example that that comes to mind that you want to share?
I can't say it happens daily. Well, some things happen daily, energetically. For me, that kind of experience comes more in, I guess, daydreaming.
Oh, okay.
As more so than sleeping. I do a lot of bathing. I use baths for to get a lot of insights. You know, I make a concoction. I throw in the bath, crystals, copper, all of that stuff. And then I hop in the bath, close my eyes, kind of in a meditative mind state, because that is something I meant to say is about getting your brain wave and the theta, beta brainwave, where you're tapping in to the dream state while you're awake. So I guess that's kind of like a daydreaming. And I was listening to a lady who gives theories on the world, and I was in the bath and I had my eyes closed and my body started to become a dowsing rod, I think, which I shared with you, Sarah. Every time, like when we ask dowsing rods for an answer, yes or no, they can cross is yes, that is no. And I'm listening with my eyes closed, and all of a sudden, when she said certain things, involuntary, my arms started dancing, crossing, going, whoop, yep, that's truth. That's truth. And what's going on here? But yeah, that was using daydreaming space. And that was the physical response I had.
Yeah. No, very cool. Very cool. Glad I asked the question. It's yeah. Have you ever had a flying dream?
Not a flying dream. I get that falling sensation a lot. And I quickly jolt up, but then go back to sleep. So yeah, no, I've never flown. I think I should set that as an intention.
So much fun. You got to do it. Let me know. I've only had a few, like I can count on less, less times on one hand, but yeah, it's just a very freeing experience. And as I'm talking about flying dreams, I'm now reminded to a little side thing we were talking about earlier about the creativity of the dream space and how the dream space and the creativity is limitless and we're not bound by the laws of physics or all of the constructs that are here in the physical world. And so being able to experience flying is with just literally your body, not like if you're wearing some kind of suit or something that allows you to fly, or in an airplane or a hot air balloon, which are the only ways that we can physically do it in our physical reality. But being able to experience in the dream space is one of the most fascinating experiences I've ever had in the dream space. It's just the feeling of flying.
I may set that as an intention tonight because I could kind of picture myself. I want to zoom through all the dimensions and just get a look. Go, yeah, not that one, that one, that one, not that one. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
A little
absolutely.
bit like Peter Pan or Tinkerbell.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Which I can circle back to with intention, and the dream space being limitless, is that you can have intention to work on yourself, to get to know yourself better, to problem solve, whatever it may be, but you can also just set the intention to have fun. Have fun in the dream space.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Fun. And that might open up those flying experiences and see if I can catch up with my dragon and
There
we
you
can go
go.
for days.
There you go. And then at least for me personally, I'm sure everyone has loved ones that they have lost. I also appreciate being able to set an intention to spend time with those who are no longer with us in the dream space. And that is always some people might find that to be challenging to deal with, but for me, it's just I wake up happy every time that it happens, that you get to spend, just one more moment with those people you love, even though they're not here anymore. Oh, you got chills. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had my father in my dreams a couple of times, and he was in good health. He looked amazing because just prior to his passing, he was very sick, a very sick man. So he looked like a sick 90-year-old. But in the dreams, he was still old, but looked amazing. And we sat round the table, and my sisters were there, but they were distracted, and he was giving me advice on how to manage family politics. So you're always pretty much in harmony, not in conflict. And his main message was always be seen as the diplomat.
Mm.
So he was a practical man in the physical world, and it appears he is for me in the dream space too.
Yeah, and it's so heartwarming and powerful to be able to have that level of advice and connection that can come through in the dream space as well. It's really cool.
And again, that always happens just prior to waking up. I don't know what you and Billy think to that, but for me, the most vivid ones that I recall are always just prior to waking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It varies,
Yeah.
but I definitely agree that the most memorable and vivid experiences typically are right before I wake up.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's in the middle of the night, and then I get 2 rounds, but
Part 1 and part 2.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I have to somehow record the part 1 in the middle of the night. Otherwise, by the time I get to the second half, I'm less likely to remember all of the details, which, Estelle, because you'll get messages from me late in the middle of the morning where I've woken up like, I just had this dream. You have to hear it.
Yeah. I have the same, like, I know I dreamt last night, but I woke up early, but still felt like sleeping in. And when I woke up just before coming on here, I know I had a dream. It was very vivid. I guess someone that I'm supposed to be meeting, so I didn't quite see their face. So there's someone coming into my life that like is pivotal, I suppose, and especially probably in the next month or so, because the year's coming to a close, and also for my own personal cycle as well, the energy's coming through. So that was quite interesting. It was like I woke up and then going back to sleep again. But also having a nap during the day. I found I have really vivid dreams when I have a nap. So yeah, I always look
I
forward
had
to
to learn
daytime
how
naps.
to day nap. I can't. I don't know if that's programming that you brought up that you don't sleep during the day.
Yep.
I hear so much about, oh, you should nap, like you have the best dreams. I think that's something that I'm going to make a conscious effort at reprogramming myself and trying to
Yep.
have naps. And I can say they're nana naps because I'm a nana. So
Nana needs her
I
sleep.
call them nana naps, don't worry. But it's like I get you, because my mum's the same, and the way I was brought up, you shouldn't be sleeping during the day. Like you should have enough energy for the day. It's not about that. It's sometimes your body like is going through a shift or whatever.
yes.
Even like, when you're a teenager, you're going through puberty, like there's times where you're just like, there's too much going on, or going through menopause or whatever it is, or having a baby or whatever it is, you need to have that extra nap. Like your body needs it. Your mind, consciousness doesn't. Like that's why I think you do have those vivid dreams, because your consciousness is like, all right, let's go. Like
Like the body's
have some
asleep. It's taken more time in the middle of the day. Come on, let's get out of here.
It should be compulsory for menopausal women to have a couple of hours during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are places in the world where it's actually part of the culture to have a nap during the day. They was it the afternoon siesta.
Maybe we should lobby our local politicians to make it legislation.
Well, that's asking a big thing, but I would say the best thing to do is to be able to be self-sufficient with your own, or be retired for one, or you know, or just being self-employed and self-sufficient in that way, where you're not constrained to a normal 9 to 5 working hours, but you can work when you want, nap when you want, dream when you want, discover yourself when you want.
Well, I would like to put a chat, well, not a challenge
Ooh.
to both you and Billy, um, to do, let's do a collective dream.
Oh, this is interesting. You got my attention. Collective dream. Now, how do you propose that happens?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe I need to set the intention to be shown
How to do it?
how we can achieve a collective dream.
Because, like, the first thing that came to my mind is, you've ever had this experience where it's kind of like a public speaking activity, I guess you would say, where it's like finish the story. So somebody will have a prompt, will start telling a story and then stop at a particular point, and then somebody else now has to come up and continue the story and then go on. And that was what came to me when you first said collective dream, because we're all, going to be sleeping at different times. So, it's like we're having a dream and then the dream will continue for the next person when they're sleeping. I don't know. That's where my brain went. That's why I was like, okay, we need to like
Oh,
define what you mean.
so I did have a dream, and I think I did message both you and Billy that you were in my dream, and we were talking about frequencies and energy and color, and then I woke up.
Well, and we did
So,
talk about that today. So,
so um, I would, yeah, like to try do a collective dream.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you let us know
for
what
sure.
what that means and what the protocols are, we'll say, and we're definitely down to explore and
Because I
experience.
can circle back to the Seth book. Seth states that he visits people and that it is going to be a way we communicate and heal people. They will be actual people whose role is as dream guides. And when people say, we've got to think of ethics, all ancient cultures were doing it. And there is the natural law. So you don't need to put man created ethics to it because they're already there.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you enter people's dreams, obviously, you notify them. It's a collaboration that you enter their dream space and you can guide them and advise maybe where they're having difficulties and what because there's more than one dream realm, right? There's infinite, and you take them on a journey within the dream realm. So they've got support that they might not have the confidence to do on their own in the dream state.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's fascinating. It also is reminding me of our dream walking episode. Um, and I'm not sure if I shared that in the show notes, but we had talked about the SpongeBob. There's a SpongeBob episode where he walks around, he visits everybody's dream, and um, he basically, annoys all of the other characters in the episode because they have to deal with him during the daytime, and then he's just like disrupting their whole dream space, and so they got really mad with him. It's kind of funny, but um don't know why I had a point, what the point of that was. It was just reminding me of the dream walking episode. We talked about this idea that you're saying of visiting other people's dreams is basically dream walking to other people's.
Well, Seth, that's what he states. That's what he does. And ancient cultures have always done that. But we've become disconnected from, our tribal community, the spiritual stuff, but it already did exist. We've just got to reintroduce that into the new world.
So would you say that this idea of dream walking is really no difference than, you basically showing up at a friend's house and being like, hey, you want to hang out kind of thing, only that you're kind of doing it in the dream space?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's how Seth explains it. And that was my experience with Seth. He didn't ask permission, but there was still an agreement because I allowed him to be in that space.
Yeah.
So this is where when I hear people go, oh, we need to bring in ethics, they're already there.
Because everyone has free will and everyone is technically in control of their own self. Especially it probably even more so in the dream space because it's just on a conscious level. You know what you're doing in the dream space, I guess. Your physical body might not know, but you as your higher multidimensional being know what you're doing in the dream space. And so yeah, you allow these things to
And you know what's not going to harm you and what is truth in the dream space. You know.
yeah.
Because that's, I guess, what makes a difference with nightmares, sleep paralysis. That's not consensual.
Right.
That's an aggressive move on some negative. I know, here I go, negative energy. Sorry, Billy, I know it's all energy.
That's all right.
But it's, shall we say, a nefarious energy. And that's not consensual. So that's why you have the night terror or paralysis or nightmare, because it's not consensual.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Absolutely. So I guess what you're saying is in some cases, and here we're going to use the term positive, but a positive dream experience is a consensual experience, but a nefarious, we'll use the term nefarious, not negative, experience is non-consensual.
Yeah, that's how I interpret. Others may have a different view, but I think it literally is that simple. And that's what I like about the dream space is while you can have some of the most abstract, intense dreams, it's all still simple.
Mm.
Accessing them. You don't have to prove your worth to access it. It's just simply there for you to access.
Should you choose to, or the level at which you access it is
Yes.
Up to you, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Whew, we have covered so much today. Like this has been a fantastic, like I feel like we have literally touched on almost a little bit of every episode we've ever really topic that we've ever talked about. I mean, we've talked about, we've talked about so much, even down to the night terrors, and we've talked on daydreaming and dream walking and bringing in the energies and the frequencies, numerology. Well, maybe we didn't talk too much about numerology, but we'll do that in the next episode.
Yeah, for sure.
Is
Yeah,
there
so
oh, you go,
it's
Billiana.
been yeah, it's been so good having you on, Estelle. Like, yeah, you got a wealth of
Thank
knowledge
you.
and your perspective on not just dreams, but a lot of other things. It's been really good, and yeah, so great to have connected with you when we have, and I look forward to
Yeah,
meeting you
thank
in
you
person
very
at some
much.
point.
Absolutely. I cannot
I,
wait for that day.
Oh,
yeah, I've still got your necklace, so I might even make another one for you. So yeah.
Hopefully, if I can figure out in the dream space teleportation, we can all get together.
yeah. Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Um, is there anything that's on your heart, Estelle, dream wise, that you would like to share on our platform for our listeners to
Um,
anything related to anything we've talked about or just from your heart, what anything about dreams, whatever.
yeah, just be open. Um, Use the dream space for all the heavy burdens we carry in the physical. Take it into the dream space. Create a room like a walk-in robe, and you can store all your problems rather than carry them all in the physical world. Store them in a safe place in the dream realm where you can tackle one problem so you're not overloaded in the physical world. So, therefore, you're going to be lighter, more productive, connecting more. Just, and then when you've resolved that, go back into the dream space, pull another, whatever it is for you, problem, conflict, and then tackle that in the dream space, and hopefully that filters into the physical. Use your dream space as a resting place for your problems and just take them one by one so your physical self isn't heavily burdened.
I think that
Love
is
that.
one of the most powerful things we've ever heard on this podcast right there. Thank you, Estelle. That was beautiful. There's nothing I can say to that. That was just it was great. I really hope our listeners appreciate that because it's quite impactful.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Whew. Yeah, like I said, I'm speechless now. There's nothing more I can say other than just thank you, thank you, thank you. I know we've given you lots of warning about we would be bringing you on to this to this episode. We've definitely been looking forward to it for a long time, and it was not a disappointment at all. This has been the most um, colorful and diverse conversation I think we have had on this podcast. So I really thank you, Estelle, for stepping outside of your comfort zone and coming on to just share in the conversation and yeah, just thank you.
No, thank you for having me and putting me in a position for a little bit more growth within myself because I'm a highly private person. Um, but meeting you ladies, I've just become and you,
Amazing.
yeah, you have. And coming on your podcast, I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't want to do you a disservice from all the things that I have learned from you both with the course. Um, I can see your course just taking off to the skies. I really do.
Off to the dream realm. Yeah, awesome. No, that's really great feedback, and we definitely look forward for those listening. The next rendition of the Dream Course, we're aiming for March, although that is up in the air because my due date is getting very, very, very close. So it just depends on
It'd be
where
exciting.
it is, where I am energetically with a new little one on the way. Um, so thank you again, Estelle. Thank you to all of our listeners. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know Billiana and I absolutely adored this episode. It was so much fun. And all the good stuff. Check us out. Check out our website. We've got the Dream Course coming. More episodes will be coming in the new year. We have a lot of exciting plans for the next season of Dream Oracle for you. We still have one more episode left before we tie up for the end of 2025. So stay tuned. And as always, everyone, just keep on dreaming.